I am hoping to take the next few minutes to convince you why you should vote for me. One important fact is I am the only public school teacher that is running for place 5. And the reason why that's important is because basically I'm in the classrooms every day. I know what the students' needs are. I know what the educators' needs are. I know what it means to do more with less. Now, although I don't work for Killeen ISD, I work for Copperas Cove, I know that we have some great things going on in Killeen. And the reason I know that is because Killeen has more funding, it has more money, it has the Career Center. Those are great things within the district. So when people think that I am not fond of the district, I want to tell you right now that that is not true. I admire some of the great things the district is doing. But I also am aware of some of the flaws the district has. And I think it's very important for a candidate to have their eyes open. Because if you don't have your eyes open, how can you fix what needs to be fixed? And which brings me to my next issue. A lot of you may be wondering why most of the candidates are talking about special education. You might want to know, why is that important? And I'll tell you why it's important. About a year ago, a reporter named Lauren Dodd with Killeen Daily Herald broke a story. And in that story, she talked about how Killeen ISD had been out of compliance with the Texas Education Agency for 7 years. Now, what does that mean? This is what it means. It means for 7 years, students were not either identified, did not qualify for special education, which means their needs weren't being met. So that means somewhere within that district, for 7 years, children were not getting an appropriate education. That could be your child, your neighbor's child. Think about that. That is not okay. And the problem with this is, some of the school board members, when they were asked, said that they weren't aware of the situation, which is not true. And I'll tell you why it's not true. Because I was one of those parents that stood in front of the school board for years and said, hey, we have a special ed issue. Please help us. So that's why I know it's not true. And that's why I think that our current school board members are not proactive enough. Another school board member said, we don't have a special ed issue. We have a perception issue. I'm sorry. I think that's an inappropriate comment. When we've got kids out there who are not getting their needs met in education, we have a serious problem. So my vow to you is, I'm going to be the school board candidate who is going to be proactive. I want to be a school board member that's going to go out to the schools once a month. That is my promise. Once a month, I will go to the schools and check the environment out, talk to the students, talk to the staff, see what we can do to make their learning experience better or their teaching experience better. I think that that will go a long way in improving staff morale, to know that someone is listening to them. I want to know what the high school students are learning or what they would like to learn. What would make them want to stay in school? That is the type of school board member that I want to be. Not one that comes to a meeting once a month, says yay or nay. I think when we vote for our candidates, we give them a trust. We are trusting them to go above and beyond. Another thing, I have 3 school-age children, right? And that is one of the reasons that made me fight for special education, because I asked the school for special education for one of my child that has special needs. And I was one of those parents that was denied multiple times. So that is another reason why I know that there is a special ed issue. That shouldn't have happened, unfortunately, and I filed a due process. I filed for due process. Now, if you listen to some of the people in the community, they think that's a lawsuit. It's not a lawsuit. You file a complaint with the Texas Education Agency, and in that complaint, basically, they have a lawyer that acts as a judge and basically makes a decision, either with the school district or with the parent. Unfortunately, for my child, we lost. But we also appealed. And when you appeal it, you have to go to the courts. At that point, you go to the courts. And so I fought for my child. It wasn't a lawsuit for money. It was and I think, what good parent doesn't fight for their child? But also this, if it happened to my child, how many more kids did it happen to? So I would think you would want a school board member who fights for children. Not one who walks away, or not one that says it's a perception issue. This isn't something that I decided on a whim that I wanted to run for school board. I run several times because I know that there is a problem, and I want to help fix that problem to make Killeen ISD greater, better. And I think that together we can do that. I think it's time to sit there and say, hey, we don't want the same people that are rotating in and out, just like we have the same people that rotate in and out of city council. It's time for fresh blood, a new perspective. And I'm that person. I'm that person that sat there and campaigned for transparency. I am the only candidate that has put all on the forum videos online, not just videos of myself, but all the candidates talking so that you can make an informed decision of why I am the best candidate. I don't try to sit here and snow you with PR pieces. All right. My job isn't to sell the district. My job is to sit there and be the advocate for the students and the teachers of KISD. My job isn't to sit there and tell you how rosy everything is. We already know that Killeen has some great programs. But what you don't know is they've got some issues with transparency. What you don't know is, for instance, again, but the special education issues, they created an advisory board. And this advisory board, they asked parents to come out and sign up to be a part of this advisory board. But what you don't know is they picked and choose who they wanted on the advisory board. And another thing you probably don't know is it's not posted to the public. The public is not invited. We don't even know what's on the agenda. That's what I'm talking about. Things like that should not be happening in the district. We should all be open to what's going on. And if you vote for me, I will ensure that transparency is going to happen. Because I will not sit there quietly and stick my head in the ground. I will not be another rubber stamper. So please vote for me on election day.